Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to be talking about Charlie Munger and some of his tips and advice for improving your life. And so he actually just recently passed away. He was Warren Buffett's right-hand man. He was the 1,182nd richest person in the world and was worth $2.6 billion when he died. And overall, from what we've seen, he's a good person, and he supported Warren and was an advisor and helped him to achieve and mass the wealth that he has and he's currently creating. And so what are some of the tips and lessons we can learn from him? Let's talk about it. So number one is to find a simple idea and take it seriously. So it's important to find the simplicity and then make it a big idea. So sometimes the most successful things are simple, right? Like investing, it's a basic concept at its core, right? If you invest in something, it'll return a certain amount of interest over time and you will make money from it, right? So sometimes the simplest products and the simplest things bring the biggest rewards. So you don't always have to get so complicated. Sometimes keep it simple. Number two is good ideas are rare. So when you find one, bet heavily. So be on the lookout. So Warren Buffett, he even is holding a ton of cash right now, even though he's worth billions of dollars. He's waiting for the next right thing. And so keep on the lookout for good people, good things, good investments, good opportunities. And once you find one, go for it. And so that's part of something you need to do is start training yourself to find the good people, find the good opportunities so that you can recognize when you see a good one. It's even like dating. When you're dating different people, and like I dated different people and went on lunch dates and things like that in college. But then like when I found my husband, I was like, ooh, this is a good one. He's a good one, right? And so then you could go all in on whatever you find that's good. I love this one. So I love that they have humor, which is super cool. And I think that's a good lesson as well, to keep it fun and have humor, even if it's serious topics or billions of dollars at stake. But humans have been writing down their best ideas for 5,000 years or more. So read them, right? And so reading books, we've talked about successful people read books and they learn and they get more information, or you listen to podcasts or watch videos or whatever. So get information that can help you and that will help you in your life. And so many people have done life already. Like, it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. There's people who have done life on your journey and before you, right? So if you're 85, there's people who have been 85 before. If you're 18, there's people who have been 18 before, and there are people who have come before you. And so listen to them. And so of course, you don't want to just listen to any 85-year-old, so because some people say, well, I, learned these lessons when I was young. And I do think we can learn from everybody, but learn from people you want to be like and you want to emulate, or you want to be in their position. So find those people. So find the people who talk about psychology and that know the most about psychology. Go learn from people who have really great relationships. Go learn from people who have built a lot of wealth. Go learn from people who have built businesses. Go learn from the people you want to be like. And so this is super important. And so go read the information and you will gain a lot from it. 4, avoiding stupid mistakes is actually more important than being smart. And so you could be the smartest person in the world, but then if you make a stupid mistake, that could totally take down everything. And of course you can rebuild yourself, but be careful. So be smart, but try to avoid stupid mistakes. That's the biggest thing, because you can be super smart, but then you make one bad decision, it could totally change your life. 5, don't work with anyone you don't admire. So sometimes you can't control this, but at least with the people you surround yourself with, or the people you try to listen to and the people you try to get in your heads, and this is what I try to do, is work with people and try to get around people that you admire and respect. That's going to make a huge difference in your life. And especially with, they've built a lot of wealth and they respect and admire one another. And so they were able to create this massive amount of wealth and success. And so I think that's a great lesson, because be careful who you surround yourself with. You want to get around good people if you can, whether it's with a startup or a company, or whether it's who you marry or your friends, etc. So get around good people. You'll go higher. 6, don't sell anything you wouldn't buy. So I think this makes a ton of sense. If you don't like the product, if you don't use it, don't sell it, right? And so really get products or get things or share things that you would actually consume or use as well. And so even I do this, I share some smoothie recipes or things like that. And I share, I love berries. Most of them you can get around anywhere at any store. It doesn't matter what type, right? But there's a protein powder that I love and that has changed my life and that is amazing. And so I advocate for it. And I'm like, hey, and I tell my friends, go get Sun Warriors vanilla plant protein powder. It's seriously so good. It tastes delicious. It's worth the money. They have these sales. Go for it, right? And so I'm going to use that product. And so I'm going to share it, right? And so I know I'm not selling the product, but in a way you are when you're sharing it and you're telling other people to go get it. So what are you going to use? Don't just make a random crappy thing. and then try to sell it if you don't believe in it. People are going to see through that, and also you're not going to be successful if you do that. 7, avoiding a bad habit is easier than breaking a bad habit. And so this is so true. And I think even as a teacher, we talk about like staying away from drugs and staying away from alcohol and staying away from some of these things, and how, why people might use them and why people do it, whether it's like you're peer pressured when you're young or you think it's cool, or also a lot of times it's easier to go grab a drink of alcohol instead of going for a run or working out and doing an activity that will actually help you. I always talk about the core 3: sleep, exercise, eating healthy, more plants, fruits, and vegetables, right? And if you go back to those things, you're going to be good. And if you do the work on yourself, but it's easier to do some of the other stuff, right? And so I don't know if you guys know this, I don't drink. I choose not to. I have tried a few sips in my life, but I choose not to drink. Don't need it. Don't get benefits from it. I love having my smoothies and healthy foods, and I love being clear-minded and stuff. And so I just don't go down that path and do whatever works for you, right? But it's so much easier because I've never gotten into it, so I don't need it, right? Instead of being addicted or relying on it or dependent on it, right? And so take that for whatever example you have in your own life, to be careful on getting involved in something, because it's harder to break that habit, we see. And that's why you have to go to rehab, or you have to have a support group, or all of those different things. And so be careful. Sometimes it's better just avoid the thing. So take that as you will. 8 is to work on your best idea, don't diversify. So I've heard this from some successful people, and especially like business people or entrepreneurs. You are creative and you have ideas and you're like, let's go for this, and you're ambitious, and oh, we could build this business, and oh, we could do this, and do. But really, you're taking away your focus, and you're taking away from the one thing that can expand, and it takes time and effort and energy. And so pick one avenue to try, and you can have a time frame for yourself. You can say, all right, I'm going to try this for 1 year and give it that time. Or you can say, no, I'm going to choose this path and I'm going to stick with it until it works. But choose one thing, be careful. You know this, the more you add into your life, or even activities or things, the less focused you are and the less likely you are to be really great at that one thing. 9, incentives rule everything around you. Look for them. So incentives, they're like benefits, things that you get, right? There's incentives to purchasing something, or to being with a certain partner or a job. There's incentives, there's bonuses, there's good things. And so look for them, right? You find what you look for. If you look for the negative, if you look for the bad, if you look for the problems, you're going to find them. So look for incentives, look for rewards, and look for things that will support you. Number 10, great businesses are built by going ridiculously far in maximizing or minimizing one or a few things. Think Costco. So how it maximizes, it's all the products, right? And so you either want to minimize, like iPhones and Apple, they make it like very clean and crisp and all about this one product. But then we have these bulk stores where it's all about the max, right? And they don't do the individual products. So think about minimizing and maximizing for achieving success. 11, I really like this one. I've heard this before too, is learning is changing behavior. And so if you've truly learned something, and if you are smart, you will change your behavior quickly. And so if you are told not to do something and then you do it again, you didn't learn, right? And so you're just saying, well, no, I learned, but I'm choosing to make a different choice. But that's still not learning. That's not changing. And so learning is change. 12, do the unpleasant tasks first. And so this is great. And I do this all the time in my life, and not necessarily in unpleasant tasks, but sometimes the harder tasks, or the things that I know I need to prioritize and make time for. And that's what's helped me with my YouTube, is that I have made time for it. And so, I can do a whole video on this. Like, I'm just interested, and I don't know if it'd be helpful to you, but some things on how I've been able to post every day. Like, I don't know if that's interesting. Let me know in the comments below if that's interesting. But there's so many reasons, and having a support system and family, being intentional with time and being focused and motivated and all that good stuff. But really doing the unpleasant tasks first. Like, if I do what I need to do first, like I get my videos recorded, then everything's great. Then I can go hang out with my son. I can go hang out with my husband. We can go do errands. We can get things done. We can play. I can exercise, whatever. But get your main task done, or the unpleasant thing done first, and then do everything else later. I tell this, if I'm a teacher, I do this too. Like, get your work done, and then we can do something else, or then we can explore other ideas or other things you want to do. But first, let's get this done, or let's get this hard thing done. Definitely a work then play type of person. Are you guys? Let me know in the comments below. Do you like to get the work done and then play, or are you like play then work? Let me know. 13, Charlie has read hundreds and hundreds of biographies. Do the same. And so this is something I would like to get more into. I have kind of started to by listening to a bunch of these really successful people, and I've already learned so much just by listening to interviews from them. I have a bunch on my channel if you're interested, like Sarah Blakely and so many people, David Goggins, I could list, and Milet. But read about them. Like I said, there's people that have done life before, or that are a different place than you, or are in the place that you want to be, or in a similar place in a certain area of your life that you want to be in. And so learn from them and see if there's some lessons that you can glean and take away. And so read, not just about the information. That's important to get the tactics, but then you also want to learn about the person and the things that they've gone through. And you can have some things and tactics that you take away and lessons from that. And so if someone's already done the work, go learn from the work so you don't have to spend all of those hours like they did. 14, stop multitasking and concentrate. And so Doctors Dean and Aisha Sherzai, I absolutely love them. And so you can follow them on Instagram or online. They're the brain docs. They're great for preventing Alzheimer's and different brain issues and etc. And they actually posted about this the other day. So I think that's interesting that actually trying to multitask, it's not a thing. And so you're just doing two things poorly or less than you could. So focus on one thing. If you're going to be with your kids, be with your kids. If you're going to do a work task on your phone, do the work task. If you're going to exercise, right? And so that can really, really make a difference. Stop multitasking and just do one thing at a time. Number 15, many hard and complex problems are actually best solved when you think backwards. And so have you heard of reverse engineering? This is a big word that has come out, or phrase, in the last little bit. I've definitely heard this a little bit more, but it's reverse engineer. So engineer is to build and to create it. But if you want to reverse engineer, you think about what the final product would be, or the final goal, or the thing you want, and then you figure out the steps to get there. And so that's actually really helpful, and can be more helpful when solving a problem, is to think in reverse. 16, think of ideas as tools. So when a good idea comes along, use it. It's a tool, right? And so I did a video on this about ideas being gifts from the universe, and that's true. So if you are aware, and if you're you're a conscious person, and if you're living a conscious life, you're going to get these thoughts and ideas that come in. And so write them down, keep them, but then take action on them. You probably can't take action on all of them. I know I've been getting so many ideas and thoughts, and Sarah Blakely talks about how she has hundreds of pages and emails of ideas, but use them, and use them in the right time, and write them down and keep them. They're gifts, and they can help change your life. 17, clip your business and personal expenses. Small leaks sink big ships. So if there's a small problem, this can be with anything. It can be finance, but just any issue in life. If there's these small little problems and small leaks, it's going to sink the ship. And so address it, whether it's with a relationship, whether it's with a financial issue, whether it's with something within yourself, address it and move forward so it doesn't sink your big ship. So build that strong foundation and be mindful. Kind of a humorous one, but good. So 18, make friends with smart dead people. So Adam Smith, Darwin, Cicero, Ben Franklin, whoever interests you and who you can relate to. I know a lot of people like the philosophers like Aristotle and Plato and stuff. Read their writings, steal their ideas, use their ideas. They don't need them anymore. So use these people's ideas. Like I said, it's always about people who come before you, and you can then apply it with your own life experience and your own worldview and your own skills and potential, and then apply it. But like, listen to other people, especially these really smart people or people you respect and that you think you could take something away from. Read. And so you don't have to just be with the people that you're around or that are in your community. You can, and there's a lot of great people there too, but go bigger. There's been billions and billions of people in the world, and there still are. Go find them and learn from them. 19, I love this one. Don't confuse intelligence with invincibility. So just because you're smart, just because you know stuff, doesn't mean that you're invincible, doesn't mean that you're going to achieve what you want, doesn't mean that you're going to be the most successful person in the world. There's even studies about tons of really smart people or gifted people that don't actually achieve the success. Excuse me. So it's not just about being smart, right? And sometimes smartness, you can be cocky. You could think you know it all. The best and the smartest people, the true smart people, know that they don't know it all, and that there's always more to learn, and that they can learn from other people, right? Even people that you wouldn't think you could learn from, you could learn some lesson from them, right? And so have that mindset, have that mentality, and you will be successful. 20. So Charlie lived a long life, right? And a lot of things can happen in a long life. Bad things will happen to you, he says. It's inevitable. But when they do, get up and keep going, and remember, the next thing to do. And so it's going to happen. Like, really, it's a lot about reducing your reaction time to things. I had an amazing comment on one of the videos recently and just saying that they had a really hard time with something. They were really upset, but then something that I said or a thought that they created on their own made them realize that just dwelling in that isn't going to help it, right? And so we need to process, we need to move on, but reduce the amount of time you spend focusing on that stuff or processing so that you can just move to the next thing, right? It's not easy. Like, it's part of life. I think over the last few years, we've tried to eliminate negative feelings or anxiety or stress and stuff. Like, that's just part of being a human. And the sooner you accept that and the faster you move on and you choose to put energy into things that will help you, the better off you'll be. 21. Love this one as well. So many good tips. Self-pity has no utility. So that just means that self-pity and feeling bad for yourself and being the victim and whining and complaining, it has no utility. It has no use. And so don't use it. Stop whining, stop complaining. And if you get in that mode, catch yourself and realize that it's not going to help. And so stop whining and complaining and actually do something that will get you out of the situation or that will actually help you or focus on other people. 22, find what you're best at and then pound away at it forever. So once you find your gifts, I think this is super important. Identify what you enjoy and what you're actually good at and then marry them and then do that thing and then keep going. Successful people do something for a very long period of time. And so find something you enjoy, find something you're good at that typically will make you have fulfillment and it will lead you to success. 23, this is an interesting tactic or tool, is to only play games where you have a slight edge. So if you're playing life, people have said, is a game, especially the money-making game. It's a game. And so try to find areas or arenas where you have a little bit of an edge. It doesn't mean like a cheat code or something. It just where you have a little bit of an unfair advantage. And we could talk about, I want to do a video about unfair advantages and how you can use them, because we all have these different unfair advantages that will lead us to our success and our potential. But use that. Have the slight edge. That's a really great book too, The Slight Edge. Check it out. 24, avoid mob rule. Avoid demagogues, avoid dogma, avoid bureaucracy. So a lot of this, basically, from what I take of it, and take whatever you will from it, everybody has their own lessons, but don't just go with what everybody else is doing or what the head people say. Like, figure it out for yourself. Do your own research, do your own thinking. Everybody's life and personhood is unique and different. And so do what works best for you. Don't just take what someone says and make it happen. Listen to what they say and then listen to other things and then make a choice for yourself. 25, optimize for independence. So this is super important. This is the main reason for finances, is to serve people and to have freedom and independence. And so if you could optimize for that and optimize for how you could be more independent, the better off you'll be. 26, similarly, use money to buy freedom. We've talked about this. The FIRE movement, the financial independence, retire early. The reason they want to retire early is typically not because they don't like work, but because they want freedom from whatever work they have to do and that they don't enjoy it. And so I think if you could find work that you enjoy, that's great. But really, people just want freedom and time and choice. And that's what I want. I want the choice and the time. And that's a luxury. That's a privilege. I get it. I totally get that. But if you can work towards that, why not? Don't you want to live your life in the way that you want to? And if you can, that is the ultimate dream. Number 27, develop durability. So I love this. So life isn't always easy, right? I mean, you could think it is. You could think, honestly, the happiest people think that life is long and easy. This is a study from the Blue Zone. So if you think, hey, I got a long life ahead and it's pretty easy, we're good. There's problems that come up, but oh well. And so the more you can learn to master the things that come up and not dwell on it. I even had a situation today that I normally, the past Elizabeth would have maybe gotten not worked up about, but just would have spent a lot of time and energy on. And I just would have thought about it because I loved analyzing things and wondering why and this. But it's sometimes certain things, it's not worth spending that brain power on that. Who cares? Sometimes it matters and I want to put my energy on, why does this work and how can we think about this differently? But sometimes it's let's not use our mental energy on something silly like that. So I was really proud of myself that I didn't spend that time and energy on that. But my point with that is develop durability. So be able to go with things and have problems come up and that you can just keep going anyways and be successful. It's stuff's going to happen. Be durable. Who cares? You're going to fall down. Get back up. 28. What do you have an intense interest in? Whatever that is, do that for money. And so some people will say don't mix your passion with your business or don't do something that you love for business. Some people say do that because that's what's going to keep you motivated and keep you going. But Charlie says, do what you're passionate about. Do what you're interested in. It will lead to success. Lastly, one of my favorites of all, 29, self-improvement has no end. And so school doesn't start or stop when you're done with school. Like, start learning, learn your whole life. When I started working on personal development recently, a few years ago, my whole life changed. And I mean, I had little bits of it, always. I've always been interested in becoming better and learning more and doing more, but I really dove into like the world of personal development and growth and wanting to act a certain way and show up in a certain way and create things in my life and not let certain things get to me, and just be able to master life. Like, when you become an adult and you become responsible for things, it's like, what type of an adult do I want to be? What type of person do I want to be? And so that's time to decide and to figure that out. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you take anything away? Have you heard of Charlie Munger? And do you want to learn more about him? Definitely feel free to check him out, or check out Warren Buffett and his lessons and takeaways. And I just think they're great people to learn from. And a lot of successful people use them as mentors. So why not let us use them as mentors too? Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and share with a friend, and subscribe for more videos like this on improving yourself, building wealth, and building health and happiness and true peace within, and bringing out the best in yourself so we can share it with others. Thank you so much for being here. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.